Hi, good afternoon or good evening, I guess. My name is JC Polanco. I'm an attorney here in New York City. I also teach at the City University of New York and I live in the Bronx. This is our last presentation of the day. So I hope we saved the best for last. You do a very good job. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ellen Iwamoto. Nice to see you again. I'm the Director of Civics Programs at the Annenberg Public Policy Center at the University of Pennsylvania. We're looking forward to a great presentation.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jeff Owen from Washington, D.C., former Trade Association exec, and very glad to be with you this afternoon and excited to hear what you have to tell us. Thank you so much.
I'm Anna Rose. I'm Jocelyn Vereen. And I'm Kaylee Rogers. Our coach is BJ DeZerbo.
Great. Thank you.
Well, welcome everyone, and let's begin. As you know, this is Unit 6, what are the responsibilities of citizens? What role, if any, should the United States play in helping other nations or promoting democratic ideas and principles around the world? What are the advantages and disadvantages of nation states? What criteria should be used to determine which countries should be helped and what kind of level of help the United States should offer these countries? And in what ways do nations of the other world interact with each other?
The United States should attempt to spread democracy because people generally live better lives under democratic governments. Compared to inhabitants of non-democracies, citizens of democracies enjoy greater individual liberty, political stability, freedom from government violence, enhanced quality of life, and much lower risk of suffering a famine. Much programs would include versions of imperialism, Monroe Doctrine, Roosevelt Corollary, Truman Doctrine, dollar diplomacy, and moral diplomacy. Citizens should also take liberty in spreading the idea to equalize countries that choose to be helped by the United States. Increasing the amount of countries using democratic policies will benefit their citizens because democracy enhances the lives of those who live in democracies by promoting individual liberty, including freedom of expression, freedom of conscience, and freedom to own private property. Spreading liberal democracy will also assist other governments because citizens of liberal democracies are less likely to suffer violent death in civil unrest or in the hands of their governments.
Advantages of nation-states would be their lack of centralized dictatorship has enabled their societies and economies to develop. They are the sole environment in which democracy can appear. As democracy spreads, more individuals are likely to enjoy greater economic benefits, which does not depend on the ownership of the land, but on trade, industry, and capital investment. And the enormous greater economic added value of that prosperity has created in each state a civil society, which adopted a cultural self-identity, which we call nationality. In a nation state, that nationality is a source of legitimacy in its political system. Some disadvantages of nation states could be that they have too much diversity of ethnic, religious, and or political beliefs, and have a harder time working together when nations become too small in size, and their economic power becomes weaker. Nations that are ruled in a dictatorship oftentimes find an extreme in the economic class with a few rich oligarchs and the mass of poor. Nations can become polarized with other states of their identity with ethnic problems, economic or political, are too different. Sometimes the international interests were overlooked, and those interests made by the states clashed and created conflict. For instance, countries can favor specific nation states, which is referred to as MFN, which can lead to a bias within trade and monopoly.
In order to receive assistance from the United States, the criteria should be that another country is in need of military aid, economic aid, or in need of humanitarian aid as a result of man-made or natural disaster. The United States government allocates aid to other governments, which can be military aid or economic assistance. Nations that are of strategic importance to the United States, as well as those recovering from war and developing nations, are some of the countries which receive aid. Government-sponsored foreign aid took on a systematic manner in the aftermath of the Second World War with the Marshall Plan of 1948, as well as the Mutual Security Act of 1951 through 1961. Increasing the amount of assistance the United States gives to foreign aid should be implemented. The U.S. government gave $43.10 billion in foreign aid in the fiscal year of 2014, but the amount of money is distributed unevenly. The United States must extend grants and loans to developing countries who need the money in order to improve infrastructure and other developmental agenda, and offering humanitarian assistance in times of disaster, such as hurricanes, terrorist attack, earthquakes, and other calamities should also be a response. They should also assist countries by training professionals such as military personnel and government administrative officers. In Federalist 21, the idea was that the federal government would provide a blanket of protection to state government. We believe the same concept should be applied to the relationship between the U.S. and nation states.
Countries can interact with each other through international law and collective security, collective defense. Nations commonly exchange culture, science, and business ideas. For instance, the foreign exchange program. Countries can also buy and sell products through trade alliances. The North American Free Trade Agreement established a free trade zone in North America. NAFTA immediately
I saw that.
Very good. That time is something else. I have a question. Your families and your teachers are working very hard and they're paying taxes every year, a lot of it. And a lot of that money goes for a lot of different services. One of the things where that money goes is foreign aid. You mentioned foreign aid in your presentation. Can you tell me a little bit about how foreign aid functions? And do you think that having our tax dollars go to other countries, is that a benefit or is that really just a cost for Americans?
I believe that sending our tax money to other countries will be beneficial in the long run for assisting other countries which have natural resources like oil and gas will help enhance our economy and help us increase the amount of natural resources we are allowed to have in our country.
I would have to disagree with my partner. Our country today is currently in $27 trillion worth of debt, and I feel that we can potentially get into more debt by sending more money. It was believed by Alexander Hamilton, and that foreign affairs, the purpose of them was to help benefit our natural interests. So he would believe that unless we were getting the same benefit back from those countries, that it would be unnecessary for us to go and help those countries.
I agree. Yes, I agree. A solution to this would be to, I believe, increase the amount of tax taken by the states, even if this would be very unhealthy for or unliked by the actual citizens. Biden's
To go off of what my partner said, in Biden's speech, Washington, D.C. is currently approved to become a state due to them having the highest amount of taxes that they have to pay within our country. And that is backed up by the idea that there is no taxation without equal representation.
To add on to what my partner said, Biden's code relief program has given people $15 more dollars per hour, which has been diminishing our in total debt, or has been increasing our debt as well, because we have been providing more money for our citizens.
Wow. Okay. I follow up with a question about the Constitution. So you're talking about giving aid to different countries, whether it's humanitarian, military, economic aid. So where in the Constitution, what parts of the Constitution sort of outline or give the authority, who has the authority to sort of outline the U.S. role globally?
I believe that our executive branch, because they are able to start war, they should, with other foreign nations, they should also be able to help other nations and help other countries. So it is a balance of some sort.
After the World War II, the Marshall Plan helped establish us helping the country of Europe by providing as much money as we possibly could to help repair the destruction that they have suffered from World War II.
Thank you.
So I follow up on that. What I'd like to hear from you is what are some important examples of treaties or agreements with other nations, and why are they important? Specific examples.
Well, after World War II, the League of Nations, they all established the Treaty of Versailles, which I believe that helped spread peace around our country because it caused an end to the war.
Good. Anything else?
Okay, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. Nope.
A question about international organizations. You know, the United Nations, you had mentioned the League of Nations before, but we have the United Nations and we have NATO. How do these organizations help keep America secure?
They help keep America secure by connecting other countries with our United States. We're able to learn other information about these different countries and learn both gain and learn both weaknesses and strengths of different countries. So if we were to need allies or to go to war against these people, we would be able to connect or understand how to control the situation. And yeah.
To go off what my partner said, I believe that these help us establish more trade to help benefit our economy. For instance, our current trading alliance with China.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I have a question about the global crisis that we're in, the pandemic. It's touched every country. You know, nobody's been unaffected by it. And so I was wondering how nations should be interacting. There's a great deal of inequity among, you know, vaccine access, and also not only how should nations be interacting, but what should the U.S. role be?
I believe that because our U.S. is such an important country in our U.S., they should be help to provide more COVID relief plans for other third world countries, areas like in the Middle East who aren't able to have access to such medicines will need help to control the virus because of their low sanitary levels and their inability to have science and aid created by themselves.
I believe that goes hand in hand with the ideas of Alexander Hamilton in Federalist 63. He believes that the purpose of us having our foreign affairs, that we should use that to help make our country look stronger.
Okay, great.
So let's think about the Constitution for a minute. It exists to limit the government so that it just doesn't run amok. Are there any elements of our Constitution that we've successfully promoted to other countries?
Yes, the whole Constitution in general, we have been, or other countries have followed with our thoughts on the Constitution and how to lead their whole nation. The ability to have laws like the Bill of Rights and to have a government that is led by the Articles of Confederation have helped other countries go to either republic.
Great, thank you. I knew where you were headed, so that's good. Well done. Okay.
Great job. You finished strong. I'm happy this was the last group. We get to see the best of the convention and the invitationals. And I saw that you put a lot of work in this. I can tell you were a little nervous. Try not to be. And moving forward, whenever you have these presentations, it's almost inevitable. But try to have a conversation. I know you know the material. Have confidence in yourself, and you'll be able to deliver it very well. I think you did a good job. Thank you so much for finishing off strong.
Thank you.
Yes, I really enjoyed hearing the discussion, and I thought you did a really solid job on your presentation. Obviously, very well prepared because you're really able to jump on the questions and provide concrete examples to support your arguments. And I just commend you and your teacher for participating in the invitational. It's been a difficult year to be in school, I'm sure. And so it's remarkable what you've done, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, I agree with my two colleagues. I think I was glad to get that answer on the Constitution at the end. It's a tough question, and I think you handled it well. I thought you all did a great job in the overall presentation. There was a lot of breadth and depth to your presentation, covered a lot of ground there in 4 minutes. That's hard to do. And I would agree that it's good for us judges to finish strong too. So congratulations. Thank you so much, and good luck with the outcome here. They're so glad that you were able to participate, and hope you'll come back. Thank you so much.
Thank you.